Hey guys. Oh. Slept good last night. I wanted to dive in a little more on the topic of the astral attack. And I wanted to, I want to give you a couple examples of how they can get you or how they'll try. And I also wanted to go into how the astral attack violates cosmic law. Because, these are things we need to be aware of. I went into it a little bit yesterday. I gave you my experience and kind of went into that and went into lucid dreaming. And indeed, lucid dreaming is a big part of being able to defend yourself. If you're stuck in autopilot in the dream and they attack you, through a astral projection, what will happen is, they will make you have a sense of shame in the dream, and then you'll wake up feeling drained of your energy. Okay, so let's just go ahead and dive into that a little bit. If you're in a dream, you're in your dream, and you recognize somebody familiar, and I'm gonna tell you, it doesn't always have to be somebody that you know, but a lot of times it's somebody that you know. Yeah, now it doesn't have to be, but you'd be, I guess you'd be, surprised. So if someone pops up in your dream, and there's somebody you know, and all of a sudden they're making you feel. The biggest consistent theme of knowing that you're under attack in your own dream is you're going to feel a sense of shame and embarrassment in your dream. All of a sudden, you're going to feel ashamed and embarrassed in your own dream. Now, guys, you should never feel that way in your own mind, in your own dream. Not unless you're I guess, trying to repent or learn a lesson, but no one should be coming into your own, dream and making you feel that way. And so when you feel that, you know that you're under an attack. That's what that is. You're under a humiliation ritual in a way. And they'll do all kind of ways. I mean, all kind of specific dreams. I have a video that I did, several weeks ago that goes, kind of a little more and into like different like kind of dreams and stuff. I go into that. Another way that they get you in the dream, and it does a similar thing, is they'll send you a sexual energy in a dream. They'll either send like a succubus type energy or maybe they'll show up in your dream in a sexual energy. And guys, if you engage, you're going to wake up depleted. Now, why do they attack you that way? Through this, through sex. Well, sex force, sexual energy is very powerful. And they like to harness it. And they like to harness it from others. That's why it's important to just not be going around and sleeping and laying with just anybody and everybody. Yeah, that's kind of one of those things that society is twisted and distorted so that we can all stay in a low brain, Just is what it is. So, now, why does that violate cosmic law? Well, guys, one, anytime you siphon energy off of another living thing, you're violating cosmic law. Which is why I don't do any kind of spell work. And I don't promote it. Anything that requires you to borrow, life force from anything else, even if it's a plant, you're violating cosmic law and you're putting on karma on yourself. Bad karma. So I'd stay away from it. And definitely don't go into somebody's, dream. I mean, think about it, guys. It's bad enough to, try to take somebody's property, right? But I mean, can you imagine the property of your own mind, and to go in there and manipulate and mess with them in a dream like that, especially uninvited? I feel like you could do something like that if it's mutual. And guys, you can do that. You get master your mind enough, you can meet people on the astral plane and have meetings, discuss things. Yeah. But when they just show up and they do it in a way to make you feel a certain type of way because they're trying to, put you down, oh man, they're violating God's law, cosmic law. They're bringing on so much bad karma by doing that. Oh, keep that in mind if you ever consider doing that you're definitely gonna put yourself in a bad spot on the karmic wheel. And I hopefully it's worth it for you. I doubt it though, because it's going to turn sour for you in the end. Anyway, keep going. So how do you defend yourself against it? I mean, I talked about it more last night, but I mean, get to the point where you can lucid dream at will. Yeah, you get to that point, you can defend yourself against it more. Purifying your body, that's another way too. So just keep that kind of stuff in mind. Things to look out for. These are very real things that happen. I'm sure some people, they'll say, I'm questioning the reality of it, and it's like, well, you can question all you want. Doesn't mean that you're right. Like, I guess you can wear the blindfold all you want, man. It's okay if it's comfy on your eyes, but when you bump into the wall and bust your nose because you're blinding yourself foolishly because you just like the comfort of the fold on your eyes, that's on you. And that is another thing too, guys, is we got free will, and it has to be of our own will. When you awaken, and I'm guilty of this. I like to share revelations. I like to put people on the things that I'm discovering because I'm excited about it, and times I gotta pull myself back and think and realize and be like, well, it's of their will. You can't make anybody get in the boat. You can't make anybody climb the stairs. You can't make anybody get higher. They have to do it. You could be a good example, and they could see how good it's doing for you, and then that can motivate them to do it or inspire them, but you can't make them. And if you try, you'll probably turn them around. Yeah, people are funny like that. Especially if you're like an empath and you have the mirror the mirror energy where, like, when you try to do things for folks and they want to do the opposite because, like, you want to help, you'll just push them into the way that they don't, the opposite way. But I hope some of my messages help. I hope some of my advice helps. Y'all have a good day.